Alright, you all. Pretty sure my mic is working. It's fucking late. I am 10 minutes to midnight. Well, 8 minutes now. On the West Coast. And I am up to fuckery. I'm up to just casting spells where I can. Making sure that and it's been a while since I've been on. It has been a hot minute. So, nothing to do except get on and get to it. But I gotta make sure I've got my whole setup here. You know, I'm not gonna front. As I said a couple times before, this setup is difficult. It does not allow for a whole lot of easy setup. That said, you know, I don't know what else to say. Like, fucking bitch is hard. But, happy to say I'm back to it. It's pretty late today. I mean, no real excuse for it. Other than, you know, I show up when the fuck I want, so. Chew on that. But in any case, I already have done a little bit of art today. A couple of weeks ago I started a piece, another pen and ink piece. And I had to have a break because my man got a different day job. Anybody who's been watching that, I announced on my last show that I was probably going to be invisible for the next few days. And yeah, had to go out of town briefly to train for it, which I am good with. I am 100% with that because I'm looking off yonder just underneath my desk and looking at the computer that a company that shall go nameless has had me attached to for, it was going on 3 years. And I'm honestly not terribly pleased with how my employment went. I mean, of course, there's me being, you know, of course, grateful I had the opportunity to, you know, try it. Having employment so that we weren't like on the street, but at the same time the arrangement was completely untenable because I'm pretty sure that with most employees they will pull a bait and switch. You know, I don't know how qualified most of the other employees I was working with were, but it was a remote job. We did enroll people on health insurance, which, believe you me, there are a few things that could set me off quicker than people blaming me for their misfortune that I had nothing to do with. But I will say that I have a lot of sympathy for them. Because to say the fix is in is to put it mildly. Because income aside, well, no, let's go ahead and discuss income for a moment. So, many of the people that called us were, of course, people who could really realistically, and I say realistically because that's the only word that applies here. Realistically, most of them were within a hair's breadth of getting booted off of Medicaid. And so there's this type of anxiety going on with them, and it's completely set up so that it stays that way. So it is a thoroughly stressful, completely I dare say untrustworthy process, because the way that it's set up is that people will receive a notice to, if they qualify in the first place for Medicaid, to prove that the income they've stated is actually what they're receiving. Fair. One of the problems, however, with that is so many people don't know how to report their income in the context that we were asking them, that we were kind of forced to ask them to do. And our hands are completely tied. We were not allowed to assist them with any of this, because the company that we were working for, that was hired by the Washington Health Plan Finder, it's the policy not to assist with those sort of things, because the real policy was numbers. Somebody had crushed the numbers and decided that the most productive time that a call should last, on average, 12 minutes. That's what we were shooting for. A maximum of 12 minutes per call average. Now, this is for people who, by and large, it's unfamiliar territory to them. And anybody who's been to a work meeting where they're starting to talk about benefits and, enrollment stuff at the time of year when it's time to start looking at stuff like that, everybody's eyes glaze over, because that is not some shit that people just want to go and hear. It doesn't really compute right in the human brain. And I think that if they actually simplified the language so that it wasn't jargon, so that it was easier to translate for the layman, people would be kind of pissed at the way insurance is actually structured. Because in the days of yore, in the beginning, the insurance industry was not supposed to be a for-profit industry. It was supposed to be something that saved people from calamity. Which, if you've got a high deductible, you ain't getting saved from shit. You're getting saved from dying completely destitute. Completely destitute, as in having no functional income. Like, every penny you make from the time you have a medical emergency is going to go toward paying off the debt of the treatment of that emergency. And people will be like, oh. And I know I'm just kind of bitching here, and probably not what people who are wanting to see me make art and all that good stuff wanting to hear. But this is something I take very seriously, because over the course of the years that I did work with that company, Because, you know, full disclosure, I was on more than one type of insurance coverage through the Washington Health Plan Finder over the last few years. So I know the frustration firsthand. That didn't make me not do my job thoroughly or, you know, break the rules, but it sure the hell let me know that the ones who were given the orders on this stuff are definitely not a friend to the people that we have calling in. And I think that I live in the state of Washington. And in the state of Washington, there is a pretty sharp divide politically between a lot of people. You know, the west side of the mountains is a bunch of, you know, left-leaning folk. Not saying there aren't plenty of conservatives out that way, because there are. But it is resoundingly left-wing in general. The east side of the mountains is resoundingly conservative. Now, that's not to say it's all conservative. As a matter of fact, I would say that the population here leans more liberal than they're betting, than they're thinking. Now, especially if they actually sit and think shit out. Because right now, what's happening with people losing their farms and stuff, it's going to start taking shit like that to get people to actually know that these guys are not their friends. Insurance companies are not your friends. People who want your vote are not your friends, especially people who say they have all the solutions, because they don't. They can think a certain way, they can lead. Ultimately, it's up to us. Because at some point, people stopped thinking about what is going to be best for all of us and decided they just wanted what's best for people that look like them and think like them. And that's the type of shit that gets us in the mess we're in now. By the way, I'm working on my Samuel L. Jackson, trying to make him as handsome and stately a gentleman as you would want to appear at your front door at 7 in the morning, ready to take back the boss's product. Or as he says, my name is Pitt. You ain't digging your ass out of this. And that is probably horribly butchered. Really, I just remember him saying, my name is Pitt. That was before the whole cornerstone of a nutritious breakfast. Big Kahuna Burger. But I digress. I am glad, long and short, to be not working in an area dealing with the horrible shit that I kept having to hear over and over again. And it wasn't just horrible shit to incredibly poor people. It was horrible shit to people who were trying to retire. Trying to retire. What the fuck does that even mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that what they are going to get is is not going to make them okay in any way in their golden years. So you had people that were scared to death. And these were also people who, had some means. It wasn't just poor people. Because they had figured out a certain amount that they were going to be okay living on. Assuming that, things like inflation were not going to go fucking crazy. Which 5 to 10 years ago, you could say that and not roll your eyes. Things were relatively normal. They didn't think that we were actually walking in to a world where the billionaires are dismantling everything in a fire sale. Like, they're really doing clearance shit. And they're squeezing every sponge they can and getting their mops out to just soak up every little bit of extra bit that they can. There is nothing coming to us. And that's the most frustrating thing that I had to deal with, was knowing that there were people who had worked years and years, never had breaks. Some of them, going into their golden years, they might have had strokes. They might have health problems that developed. They're not able to do what they once did. To hear somebody kind of lose hope in their voice in a real way, somebody that you don't know but you can relate to, because we're all aging. When you're in your 20s, you're pretty much invincible. Most people are not thinking, well, I'd better start getting ready for my retirement. And even assuming they do, nobody's anticipating some kind of big health scare. Nobody's anticipating, somebody fucking around and playing riskily with their pension. And they sure weren't betting on having the type of income that if they have to pay insurance premiums to Medicare, that it was going to be something that sank them. But then there's also the working folk who they're making, combined together, a family making, 80 to 100 grand. Now, 80 to 100 grand, that seems like a lot. If you have 4 kids, it's even less. 80 to 100 grand starts to look more like 50 or 60. Now, that 50 or 60, you start factoring in, well, these are people that have a mortgage. How much is the house worth that they bought when they bought it? Has the mortgage gone up? Have they had to leverage anything, refinance? What do their monthly payments look like? Let's call it around $2,000. So 50 to 60,000 after the expense of children, $2,000 a month. That's taken a pretty good chunk of the monthly income down. So 4 kids takes 80 to 100,000 down easily to 50 or 60,000 a year of disposable, and not even disposable income, because 50 or 60,000 a year, and you're paying $2,000 a month in mortgage, that is debilitating. That takes your, $4,000 to $6,000 a month down to $2,000 to $4,000 roughly. So that is a couple of uppercuts. Now, what are the other expenses? Electricity, water, internet, the realities of right now. Vehicles. What if you need a vehicle repair? Oh shit. What if you need a home repair? Oh shit. So that's before I even get to that ugly specter of health insurance. You've got 4 kids in the home. That if you're only making in the clear about $2,000 a month, you may still be lucky enough to qualify for Apple Health. For the children, and so the children might luck out if they're all, under the age of 18, and that $2,000 is really the reality of what's in the clear. Then that $2,000 can go towards the additional stuff for the kids. Because when I was talking about how much it cut that down before, I mean, they eat, they need clothing. Even if you're thrifty, them kids are expensive. Even if you're buying stuff secondhand. Because, there's no parents that I know that just, they think about birthdays and about Christmas, holidays, things like that. And they want to do the best they can. They want it to be memorable and special, and they want to make sure that everybody has a great memory every year of these family times. And not waxing philosophically at all, I can say that's kind of a very general thing. That's pricey. A lot of people use credit cards and stuff. And, that's whatever. But long and short, let's go ahead and get back to the meat of the matter. Because aside from all that, twisting and bending and trying to keep everything affordable and trying to give as much as you can and still toe that line of, keeping yourself in a roadworthy vehicle to make it to work, making sure that you and your partner, your spouse, whoever, have work-ready clothing, are presentable. Maybe you have to buy equipment for yourself. Maybe you have to pay for trainings. And that's all stuff that, it's not uncommon. But, and that's 2 times I've had to kind of explain it and go back to the big specter in the room. How much is it if you guys work at the kind of places that, you may luck out, you may pay union dues, and you may be able to insure your spouse on the cheap. If you guys are fortunate enough to have that, that's great. That doesn't mean the coverage is good, because one of the situations I came across a lot was some places just had garbage coverage. Even some places that were, had unionized employees, the union for some reason had shit coverage. And so they would look to us. Now, if you've got that $2,000 to $4,000 a month after all your other necessities are there being taken care of, and I discussed that earlier. If they offer you insurance at your work, even if it doesn't cover a damn thing, if it's affordable, if it meets the metric, then you aren't eligible for any financial help, no tax credits or anything like that. Your spouse may look out and be eligible for that, but in most cases, they weren't. The workplace wouldn't kick in any for your spouse or your kids if that was a situation. So, people with the $4,000, they might be able to afford a plan for 2 adults, which for a bronze level plan, which is, let's just put it out there, they're ass. They have a high deductible. You got copays that are basically the kind of copay where if you got to go to a doctor's appointment, if you have something that's being traded regularly, some kind of condition, you do not want to have. You really don't want to have a bronze plan, because it's going to cost you an arm and a leg, especially if you've got some kind of, like, not real common condition, but not something that's unheard of, like an autoimmune disorder. In that case, I can fully say, yeah, you really do not want a bronze plan for that. What you want to try to get is a gold or a silver plan, which those are going to cost more every month. Sometimes you can get, like, the tax credits, and that'll help you afford it month to month. Generally on a bronze plan, that for a couple, that's going to make it, ballpark, let's say, the type of tax credits they're going to get having that $2,000 in a clear for the $80,000 to $100,000 bracket, they might get a few $100s, couple $100. So they'll wind up paying like $150 to $400 a month for their health care coverage for a bronze plan. If they want a gold or a silver, depending on, now for some reason silver were the bigwigs this year. Usually it's the opposite. Usually the gold plans are Cadillac plans. But yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought because I'm doing artwork here at the same time. Sam, I think I'm gonna have to use something to help with some lining up. Hey, that'll work. That'll be fucking nice. That's extra nice. But if you're going to pay for a top of the line, let's just call it a gold plan, because that's traditionally what is the big, end all be all. You're going to have a lower deductible, typically between $1,200 and $600 per person. And you'll be able to go see a doctor, copay for like $5 to $15. Prescriptions pretty low copay too. But, and this is a big but, if it so happens that this family can afford the tax credits, which not a lot of people understand tax credits real well and what they are. Most people have a very unschooled understanding of tax credits. They think it's free money from the government. It is not. We're not allowed to explain too much over the phone to people, and that bites us in the ass. Daver Carlson, are you still on there? You left, man. So, long and short, people don't know what they're getting into with that sort of shit. Which to me, that's pretty horrible that we're not allowed to explain it in depth. Because for the most part, people who are getting into that don't understand that that money is going to have to be paid back to the government. And so when you file your taxes the following year, I believe the phrasing that I heard on Shawshank Redemption was, they're going to take a big fat bite out of my ass. And yeah, that's exactly what happens with those tax credits. And so then we get the calls of people who want to magically make the tax credits disappear when they find out they're not actually getting anything back on their tax return. Or even worse, they're owing money now. They owe a lot of money because the process is not well understood about even reporting, which I went over earlier. They don't really allow us to do anything over the phone with these people to provide any guidance or really effective information on how to stay out of that kind of fucking trouble. And that, my friends, irks me. Because we're going to be able to help people avoid calamity, in effect, and take advantage of things that would be available to them to use with real information that was going to help, that was going to keep them out of financial straits, calamity, all that good shit. And, you know, whenever I'd get a wild hair and say, well, you know what, I think I'm going to go ahead and fully explain how this works. And, you know, of course the person on the phone would be upset once they realized, you know, how it was set up. And when I say, you know, it was frustrating to me because we weren't allowed to help them. And when I did, you know, always got a support, you know, got a talking to every now and then. Because the basic philosophy is these people are grown. They should know what they're getting into. They should research it. Sure. Yeah, I can agree with that. Only, no, I can't. Because by and large, people who are dealing with the tax credits, those are working fucking people with families. Time does not grow on trees. And everybody is out to get a piece of their fucking income. So when we're offering, like, you know, to refer them to brokers and stuff like that, you know, the broker is ultimately part of what they're providing is with quite a lot of self-interest. You know, because they've got a piece of the action. They have something at stake with whatever plans these people select. And I'm not saying that all the brokers I dealt with were, you know, like friggin' Star Wars villains, because a lot of them were painfully nice. However, there was definitely a presence of people who dealt with brokers that couldn't be bothered, and really, more often than I would like to admit, there would just be somebody who directed people who were looking for actual help toward a sale that was not going to work for them, that was not going to do them any good. So essentially, they allowed a person to be railroaded into a plan that they expressly had said they needed this kind of coverage, this kind of provision, they needed this medication to be covered, they needed to go to this hospital, and the motherfuckers would get them on a plan that had none of that. And it was very rare in the instances, well, I shouldn't say very rare, I should say it was fairly regular when I'd get these people who were, you know, essentially cast aside by a broker. And they're upset with the situation because, you know, they have a medication that manages a mood disorder, or, like I said, an autoimmune disorder, something that not only does it no longer show as of being available to them, that's not something that was considered very important, I guess, from the broker, but they can't access their medical team now. And so I guess I should consider myself fortunate, because the place where I'm walking into, very thoughtful with the benefits, with the kind of coverage we're getting. You know, very progressive in how we're going to be able to access things that are going to be real help to working people. But the job I came from, it was the opposite in essence. And gotta be honest, I don't think there should be any place when it comes to people's living situations. There should be something kind of sacred about people who, you know, fucking with their health plans, their ability to stay alive. You know, that same family I was talking about, if they were in the situation that I just described, you know, thank goodness their kids would be covered. But that $2,000 to $4,000 a month now dwindles by a certain percentage, which, if the broker didn't give a shit, they're essentially throwing money away for nothing. They'd be better off with some kind of savings account that they could just put that money into every month, but those aren't available. Some places don't allow you to use those. Some of them worked for companies that, even if the company didn't provide insurance for their spouses, they were not allowed to enter into a contract for to take advantage of an HSA. And you know, if everything lined up and they were able to use those tax credits and they had that disposable income every month, it's, like I said, it's not free money. That bill's coming due. And nobody ever knew that. It was exceedingly rare that somebody knew that. And it was very pronounced. It was bad, very bad this year, after all that fuckery, where congressional Republicans, the conservatives, were trying to give the chop to all of this shit. And they're saying, well, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay, what's the alternative? And I think people need to get pissed and understand that those politicians, the insurance companies, brokers, they're not your fucking friends. They're out for your dollars. They don't give a fuck how many kids you got. They don't give a fuck what your health problems are. They don't give a fuck. They want your vote. They want your money. They want your goddamn fealty. They want your faith, even if they're lying to your fucking face. And they'll say, well, we explained this. And they'll let you look at a document where the goddamn fine print is finer than the finest print that you've ever seen previous to that moment. So, you know. And the caveat, I suppose, can go back to the, you know, the mantra that my company and its higher ups were using. Well, you know, these people are adults. They need to, you know what they're getting into. This is their responsibility. Yeah, sure, I can agree. But, you know, we don't gotta set them up in the fucking shooting gallery. You know, we don't have to send them right in front of a firing squad. And I think that's the most frustrating thing, is because I felt like a lot of those guys with because when you're dealing with health crises and your health insurance does theoretically the opposite of what it's supposed to do, where they say, well, you've got to pay this much until we'll cover this. That's not help. That is not help at all. You know, if it helps you keep your house and that's it, you know, I guess that's something on a philosophical level. But if you can no longer afford to pay your electricity bill, once everything's been adjusted and these medical whatevers have been taken into account, how are you living? You know, what's your take home going to be? Are you going to want to keep making house payments when, because of all the other burdens now, cost burdens, your house now becomes looking more like something that is now just another weight, especially for those families that, you know, that $2,000 a month to the $4,000 a month, it evaporates. And, you know, the instance that I used, the family, 4 kids, 2 adult parents with, you know, jobs that offer insurance, but the insurance isn't helpful. Because of, how it's structured. Like, you're not going to get any help with anything until you pay, $6,000 of deductible. Which at that point I ask, what are you paying for? If this is a company you've been paying for years and years, or even just throughout the year, what's the benefit to that? And, people that know insurance will say, well, yeah, that's not how it works. I know that's not how it works. I absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, know the way these insurance companies are set up. And them implementing automatic denials for certain treatments. Even treatments that are well established as something necessary for certain patients. That's scumbag. That is really, really scumbag. At that job, I had, on more than one occasion, somebody on the other end of the line openly contemplate suicide and hang up. There were a couple of people who, having worked with developmentally disabled folk, were calling, and I was the only one who tried to put things into phrases that they could understand, that made it digestible for them. And, it's some sad shit because, really, as robust as Washington State can be with its public services, it's in many ways still woefully short. Well, Samuel's looking pretty fucking beaut. Let this dry a little bit, and I think I might try a different strategy going here in the next couple days with this. Now, Monday I gotta work, but first actual week. Well, I shouldn't say first actual week because I was in training all week this last week, and I'm gonna be training again this week, so it'll be kind of a transitional time. So I'm hoping I'll be able to do some artwork. But I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to bust out the masking tape so I can straighten up some of these lines. Because as much control as I'd like to think that I have with these fucking paintbrushes, that's a joke, man. Like my most effective shit, I might have to go get some more Poscas. As a matter of fact, I should probably go get the black Posca so I can sharpen these up. Because ultimately, you step away from the painting, and let's see, let's take a gander. You step away from it, and you can see it doing its thing. It looks, for all intents and purposes, it's doing what I want it to. That said, let's see if we can get it up a little. Oh, I don't have enough camera cord. Fuck. That'll be something that I bitch about for the next couple days. But anyway, long and short, it looks pretty much the way I want it to. From far away, standing, about 10 feet from it, it looks pretty amazing. But getting close up to it, I'd like it to have a little more polish. And so I'm probably going to throw some masking tape and clean up some of the lines. Just make them a little more uniform, not so damn well, I just forgot all my English. That does happen on occasion. When I run out of words, and I'm like, oh gosh, waffles. But just to clean it up, make it look, intentional, like none of this stuff is accidental. Because I got plenty of guidelines here, but laying down a piece of masking tape and doing a little bit of line work, probably going to get some kind of a tool that I can move back and forth, because the ruler, it's cool, it's alright, but I know that I can get I can probably make something that will allow me to make the lines more uniform. So I think I'm going to go for something like that. That way this can be beautifully rhythmic, and there aren't so many lines that look like I just swished paint around in my fucking mouth and spit it out at the canvas. As I bite my thumb at you, fucking Tybalt. In case you didn't know, that was some Romeo and Juliet shit that I haven't said since high school. And I have no idea what the reference is, so now I guess I gotta read that again. But, yeah, that's the intent here. It's gonna be beaut when it's done. And really, I did have some other good news, if I can find it to share. Yeah, and I'll put this in front of the camera so it can be seen. So I've got my little ultra cheap portfolio right now. How you like that mess? So I went ahead and bought a kit on Amazon. I was able to hack it and use it to put some kind of high quality inks in my printer cartridge. Now my printer is older than shit. My printer is, I think, 2012. So yeah, we're pushing 15 years with that printer. I got it secondhand. But it's an Epson, so it's Epson's, or wait, it's not an Epson, it's a Canon. It's a Canon printer. Canons they always have good printers, and their inks last a long time. So, long and short, I got a kit that has the Canon inks that I'm able to just inject the cartridges back full. Because even though it's a printer that's old, them cartridges are like $80. $80 for a black cartridge and a color cartridge. So I bought a kit after my last cartridges run out, and so now I'm able to use high quality paper and turn out some prints. And so there's a good old Nipsey Hussle. That's a picture I did last year sometime. Well, actually it says 2024, so that's a couple of years ago. I scanned that image in. That was done with a combination of some watercolor pens, I think Tombow watercolor markers. What else did I use? I used Copic markers for the underlayers. I did the depth shading with those Tombows. And then for the highlights, I used colored pencils. And, I scanned it at 600 DPI on my scan bed. And so the print came out really good. And I think part of it is because the scan was so high resolution. Now, I didn't have to retouch it in Photoshop at all, which, that's great. As a matter of fact, I left it its original color, and I let Photoshop handle the output print colors, which made for a heck of a lot more accurate print. It really matches up close to the original. Now, the original for Nipsey Hussle, that's gone. That was sold. But I'm going to make some prints, and the prints on the paper I'm using are coming out good enough that, as you can see, that's kind of mocked up to what it would look like under a board, you know, if you matted it and framed it. So I'm going to start pricing these out. And for some of them, I might go a little more professional and just send them out so that you can get something that's like a greeting card size. High quality print, be able to frame it. But like this is how these are coming out. So there's my Samuel that I did with same picture here, but this is him done with the ink pens, with the Bic pens and alcohol blending. And I don't know if you can see close enough, but when he came out, and I scanned him full color 600 DPI as well. So this is actually a little bit smaller than the original because I printed it out. I can't remember what size, but it is smaller than the original. That's a high enough scan that I can go bigger with it, and it's going to have great detail, great color, and you can even see, which I don't know if you can see on camera, but there's like some blue pencil underneath where I was laying stuff out. So yeah, the printer is doing excellent. The scanner, which is several years old, is doing excellent. I was able to get these 5x7 paintings scanned, and they come out looking pretty much exactly as they look hanging on the wall. What the hell am I listening to? Sound of Persia. Oh man, I'm gonna get copyright struck on that shit. Let's go ahead and get back to some. So the music I listen to, that's when I don't have my own beats going. This is Creator Mix, in case you were wondering. I don't know who the hell would wonder, but that's who it is. All right. Anyway, so these are my ink pen drawings. Those are all scanned full color, 600 DPI. So at the size they're at, they look really good. I haven't blown any up to, I'd say with these ones, probably the biggest I would go is 8x10 on a print. But they're coming out really good from scanning them in such a high resolution and letting Photoshop handle the print colors. Let's see. So I've got those two guys right there. Come out looking pretty much exactly as I laid them down on those little canvases, those little 5x7 canvases. Then there's this one I did a few years ago, and that is slightly smaller than it actually is, but same deal. When I scanned that in, it was 600 DPI deal. The file, pretty big file because it was such a big scan. But the colors came out exactly as they look, you know, as close as you're going to get, unless you go to like a huge print shop, like a national place. So pretty much everything that I've done in the small format, I've scanned and printed, and it's all coming out excellent. And this is pretty good thick paper, and I'm actually going to spray a treatment on it so that it's fade resistant. Pretty much the same thing that they use to make things archival. And then I've got Tupac there, which definitely is maintaining the quality of that original piece I did. And that original piece has been sold. there'll be more Tupac coming. But then we've got my digital prints, which I did those in 600 DPI originally anyway, but those can be printed pretty much to any size, which, you know, like when I printed them originally, they were much bigger than this. I think the both of those I did an 11 by 17. They're funny, little bit of a funny proportion because I cut some of them off for this print. But they're all coming out nice and bright and vibrant with this substitute printer ink. I shouldn't say substitute because it's the same stuff that the Canon company uses. It's just in a kit for refurbishing those printer cartridges. So yeah, everything's coming out nice and sharp. Everything looks frameable from what I can see. All as natural color as you're gonna get. We've got Bruce and Marlon. Everybody likes that Bruce picture a lot. They have for years. And we've got Homegirl, I can't remember her name. And there's some lining right here on her print because at that point I had started to run out of some ink. So just to put it in context, I had filled the cartridges, did several test prints, and then did all of these full color. And then at this page is when the ink started to run a little low. And so you can kind of see the little lines. You may be not able to see it on camera, but there's little gradation lines where you can see how the printer worked. But it's coming out very good. And I actually, if anybody's interested in those, because I gave those to the Honey Badger for her birthday present, but Frankenstein and the Bride, those are now printable. Those are the high quality scans. They both look great after printing them. And so yeah, those are going to be available. Oh, and with all that development, the fellas, I was able to scan them. That's a bigger picture. That's like an 11 by 14, which is too big for most scan beds. But quite a while back, I had gone out and bought an 11 by 17 capable printer. I did not know it had a full-size scan bed that actually would scan 11 by 17. It does. So I was able to lay the picture on there, get the same 600 DPI, and it came out wonderfully. So I've got a whole lot of stuff that I can do. It's really opened up how I can produce, and I aim to keep on doing that. So if anybody who's watching has any inquiries about purchasing anything, just let me know. But pretty soon I'm going to have on my website, and I'll of course provide links as soon as I have it up and going, because I do have a shop through Square where I'm actually putting in the stock of everything I have right now that I'm going to put up for sale, and it's going to have pricing on it. You can buy the originals. They're going to be far more expensive than the prints, but the prints are, you know, they're pretty high quality. They're convincing, and they'll look even better. I'll probably mock up a couple of them on some frames with mat boards on it, just so that people can actually see what it's going to look like when they hang it, if they choose to. So, yeah. getting the stuff to mail them off if you order. We're making stuff happen. But yeah, we're gonna keep on keeping on with this. Hopefully, the next time I'm on, I don't start bitching about insurance companies for a fucking hour. Even though everybody's got a legitimate gripe against them. I don't know anybody who doesn't have a legitimate gripe against an insurance company. Health insurance. Insurance in general. One of the biggest hustles you ever done heard of. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night since we are pushing 1 a.m. And I see out of the corner of my eye the magic that Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis are making. If you don't know, you almost got me losing all faith in humanity. I will say that it has influenced how I've played volleyball from that point forward when I bore witness to what would eventually be known as Hoochie Daddy shorts. So, anyway, yeah, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. If you stopped in, thank you very much for stopping in. I appreciate your patronage. If you have questions, go ahead and hit me up on social media. My socials are, of course, at the bottom of the screen. And, message me, make inquiries. If you want to collaborate on any art stuff, let me know. If you want to go live, let me know. If you just want to bitch about politics and the general fuckery of the development of like geriatric fucking fascism, let me know. Anyhow, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Wherever you're at, take care of yourself, take care of the people